What's up, y'all? Welcome to Nostalgic Sports. Today we are covering why the UFL should expand to Salt Lake City, Utah. I covered Salt Lake City as one of the possible expansion cities in my four-part series discussing multiple cities that the UFL should consider, as well as bringing back Seattle and New Orleans. But this is a more in-depth look at why Salt Lake City, Utah deserves to be a UFL expansion team. Salt Lake City is quickly expanding and it's located in North Utah, and it's the most populated city in the state. They have a successful sports market with a large variety of professional sports being played there, having an NBA team, the Utah Jazz, a new NHL expansion team, the Utah Hockey Club, an MLS team, Real Salt Lake, and a AAA baseball team, the Salt Lake Bees, and the list goes on. As well as that, they have a very successful college football fan base, being home to the Utah Utes of the Big 12 Conference, who have been on the rise, beating attendance records this past season, which the UFL could tap into. There's definitely a strong sports market to be capitalized on in Salt Lake City. While there's already a lot of teams in Salt Lake City, not having an MLB team in the spring to compete with is a good thing. Salt Lake City also has been a location for spring football in the past, having a team in the Alliance of American Football, the Salt Lake Stallions, back in 2019. But that fell through after a season as the AAF folded because of financial difficulty. I think if the league would have done better, then the team would have been a success, and I think if the UFL can manage correctly, then Salt Lake City can be a success for the league. As for where they could play, Rice-Eccles Stadium, that the AAF used for the Stallions, would also be a viable spot for a UFL team. It has a capacity of 51,400, so it has plenty of space for a UFL team while not being too oversized. They draw in big crowds at Rice-Eccles for Utah college football, and I think they could do the same for a UFL team. But some people think a smaller stadium would be better for spring football. So if the UFL wanted to go that route, there's another stadium that would work perfectly, America First Field, which is the home of their MLS team, Real Salt Lake, that has a capacity of 20,213. Some fans would question the capacity in it being an MLS stadium, but that's exactly what the DC Defenders are doing, playing at an MLS stadium. DC's stadium, Audi Field, has an even slightly smaller capacity than America First Field, and it seems to be working well for the Defenders, so I think it could work in Salt Lake City and be successful. And a positive for the league adding a team there would be westward expansion. A big complaint on the league is having no teams west of Texas, and with finances and travel expenses being a big factor in where to expand to, Salt Lake City is farther west without being so far it skyrockets travel costs. It could be a stepping stone to reaching the West Coast, and if the UFL were to add a California team or bring Seattle back, then Salt Lake City is close by them for easy travel compared to some of the other teams. Geographically, I think it makes sense for the league to go there and wouldn't be as expensive as some of the other locations, which is important for a new league since they aren't raking in money like some other more established leagues that have been around for decades. The UFL needs to be more financially aware because money issues and management has been one of the biggest downfalls of previous spring football leagues. So the league definitely needs to play it smart where they plan to expand to. To me, Salt Lake City could be that option, or at least considered by the league. When we talk possible expansion cities for the UFL, it's fun to think of potential team names. When it comes to Salt Lake City, it would be cool to pay homage to Utah being nicknamed the Beehive State by early settlers, referring to how they all worked together to turn the desert into a livable community. And it would be cool to have a team name that reflects that, like their AAA baseball team, the Salt Lake City Bees. Some possible names I would like for their UFL team would be the Salt Lake City Stingers, the Salt Lake City Swarm, the Salt Lake City Killer Bees, or the Salt Lake City Pioneers. Or if they wanted to use Utah in the team name instead of Salt Lake City, I think that sounds just as good. Currently, 7 out of 8 UFL teams are named after the city, not the state, with the Michigan Panthers being the exception, so they could definitely go either route. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think would be a good name for a Salt Lake City expansion team. There's definitely a lot going for Salt Lake City with a successful sports market, large population size, readily available stadiums, and geographic location that it makes a lot of sense for the UFL to expand there, and I believe the UFL is definitely considering it, as we know they're looking to potentially expand the league by 2 teams in 2026. I think they would go well being added with another team in the West to help the league branch out farther, whether that's adding Salt Lake City and bringing back Seattle or a new team altogether. But if I had to guess, they bring back Seattle or New Orleans and then an all new team to be brought in with them in 2026. Unless the league decides to bring back Seattle and New Orleans back before adding an all new team. But that's a topic we will be discussing in a future video. Either way, Salt Lake City is a good option. What do y'all think about the UFL expanding to Salt Lake City? Do you like the idea or think the league will go after a different market? Let me know down below. There's countless routes the league could take. If y'all have any cities you think are better options, let me know. I have multiple other videos on the channel talking about possible expansion cities, so if you're interested in that, check them out. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe for more UFL and other sports content coming soon.